Welcome back to another episode. I believe this is the third Christmas episode that we're doing. I'm very excited about Christmas, which is why I've been producing a lot of things. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of worlds, there's a lot of scenery, there's a lot of technical skill improvements that we're seeing, character design skill improvements that we're seeing. And as for the gingerbread man, last episode we seen him in the factory getting made. Now we're seeing him after he's baked, when he's alive, right? The homunculus is now a living thing. And he's jacked. He's jacked and he's absolutely a unit. You would not want to mess with this guy in any capacity unless maybe you guys are friends. I think that would be the only option. Because he looks like he could run miles, he could lift weights, and he can mess you up. And that's really what he's all about. He's used as security where he lives and where he's worked and what he's made for. That's really his purpose, or majority of their purpose as well. And of course, some of them don't want to do that. They think they have more of a purpose, and that will cause conflict, but that's more detailed stuff. But regardless, I drew this as a way to demonstrate the character, show people what it's like, what it's about, make him more realistic. And I did something different because usually for my collages, if you've seen the pumpkin episode, Pumpkins Online, it's just a bunch of characters and it's kind of an incoherent scene. But this time I actually tried to make it coherent. You're going to see after I finish these big letters, I implement backgrounds into it and I try to connect it to last time's picture. Because I think that adds another level of it where I can still keep the collage feeling, but I can also implement environments. And I think that is an important skill that I need to work on and that I'm actually getting better at as well, is environments. I used to think, I'm not good at drawing objects or things that are inanimate, but honestly, you just have to adapt it to your style. You know what I mean? As artists, we all have styles. So you just have to learn what your style is and just apply that to every and anything. And here you can see me putting in the background, and it's kind of similar to the background that was there. Almost like I copied off of it, because you see the same bowls and the posters, the splash marks, the spoons, the Christmas trees, elves. It's almost like I just looked at the other drawing, and I just moved it over, and that is what I did. I'm not even going to lie. I just looked at what I had in the other drawing, put it here, because it's the same place after all. There's one elf in the top left corner who's different. That's because he's a regular elf. He's like a Christmas elf, not a chef elf. There's going to be a difference in that as well. And I'll probably expand upon that in next year, since it is Christmas. Merry Christmas, by the way. Now we're coloring, and this is always still to this day. Even I know I explained this last episode. It's a hard part for me. So I took the colors from last time and I just put them here. I just applied them. I kept everything simple. All the colors are the same as the last piece. Maybe when I get better at colors, I'll experiment with more things, because I know colors can have a big impact on an art piece. But honestly, I don't think I'm a color guy. Like, I don't see colors like that as well as I see lines and ideas and shapes and things like of that nature. But regardless, I think it turns out very well. We finished coloring it up, and it's like a puzzle. You put it together like a puzzle piece, and you have a lot of errors, of course. You think certain pieces go somewhere and then they don't. Like, for example, these red letters. I was going to copy the same colors that I was going to use for the gingerbread man in the letters, but then when I actually started doing it, I was like, that looks kind of tacky. So then after coloring in more things, because that helps me gauge what the smaller colors should be, like more specific colors of the gingerbread's eyes, mouth, whatever, I decide maybe we're not going to go with these colorings for this letter, but something more different, off season, you could even say. And I left it like this for a while because I thought that was good. I definitely liked the way it looked. But then after I colored that bread man, you see that bread man part, gingerbread man, I colored it white. I said I got to keep everything uniform. And so then I changed the ginger, after I cleaned it up, into the white frosting. And I made it drip just like the bread man. And then things started to make sense. And after this, change up the background a little bit, put some shading on it, and that was it. And I didn't shade all of the drawing this time around. I was a little busy, and also I felt like I didn't need to shade the other part of the drawing. I could probably go back and do it, but that probably will happen next year. The main reason is because the part that I did shade is the most important part. The other part is just like, bruh, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's everything that has to do with this drawing. I'll have an episode that I'll explain the lore. All the lore will connect because I still have to implement the clowns in this aspect. So, yeah, thanks.